Hello, Algebra 1. All right, so today we are going to start our first lesson via online Google Classroom. So this video is about quarter 4, week 1, and today's date is March 24th, 2020. We're talking about data and statistics today. And this is the first lesson out of 3 lessons that are covering data and statistics. So, you guys might remember right before break we covered box and whisker plots and collected data, and we did that project. Well, when you guys asked people your question that you decided, and we remember here's what a box and whisker plot looks like. Sometimes the section will call it a box plot. Same thing. So there's a minimum, a maximum, and quartile 1, quartile 3, and the median, that's very important, shows where the middle of our data is. So this is just a general picture of what it looks like. You can pause the video and copy this down if you're taking notes. I do strongly suggest that everybody takes notes in a specific notebook or folder for all of these math lessons. Okay, so a box and whisker plot is usually used when we're collecting data that's kind of a small data set. So we don't want to have a bunch of numbers that will take up a whole page. We really just want maybe 12 numbers or something like that so we can plot them and not get too overwhelmed with it. So I do have one example for today. Okay, so like I said, you can copy these down. So here's an example of test scores. So we have a 43, 51, 55, 57, and it keeps on going. Remember down here also it keeps going with 83, 85, 88, and so on. So what our goal is to find the median and quartile 1, quartile 3, and the min and the max. Okay, so that's what we're trying to find today. All right, so you can pause the video or rewind it a little bit to copy that down. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and find these things together. Okay, so the median. The median is the middle. Once we list our numbers from the smallest all the way up to the largest, then we can find the median. Okay, so this might be a little difficult, but I'll try my best. We're gonna just cross out the numbers until we find the middle, okay? But don't cross them out too heavy because we're still gonna need to find the quartiles. So 43 is the smallest, 94 is the biggest. So we can just, on your paper, you know, you guys have done this quite often, just cross out the numbers until we get to the middle. Okay, so here we go. We found our median. 69 is the median. So now we're going to find quartile 1. So you look at the smaller numbers that lead up to the median, and we're going to see where the middle is of this smaller set of data, okay? So I'm going to cross it the other way. 67, 43, 62, 51, 61, 55. Okay, so 57 is the quartile 1. Okay, we're going to do that again with the larger numbers on the larger half to find quartile 3. Okay, so 94, 78, 90, 82, 88, 83. So we're left with 85 as our quartile 3 number. Okay, so the minimum and the maximum, that is just the smallest number of your data set and the biggest number of your data set. So 43 right here, this is the smallest number, and 94 would be our maximum, is the biggest number. Okay, so let's make a box and whisker plot from that data that we just analyzed. Okay, the first thing, and most people forget about this step in making a box and whisker plot, is we need a number line, right? Just a plain old number line, and it has to be big enough to hold all of the numbers that we have. So if our smallest number was 43, we can't exclude 43, right? We have to have enough room in our number line to hold 43 all the way up to 94. So what I usually do is I start with a number smaller than 43, so I think I'm going to start mine at 40. And when we keep on going on the number line, our largest number has to be bigger than the one in our data set. So our maximum is 94. On our number line, I'm just going to put 100. Okay. So here's what I have for my number line. And then we put the in between tick marks in between it. So 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90, and then 100 is the biggest one. So that's what I'm going to do here. So you guys do that on your paper as well. Okay, so here's what we have. You can also put smaller tick marks in between to indicate like 45, 55, 65 if you would like to. Some people want to do that, as long as it makes sense to you, okay? So now, once we have our number line graphed, we can actually start putting our data in there. So first things first, I love to start with the median. Wherever the median is, we found it in our data. Now we just have to put it into a visual so that we can see it represented in an easier way to read. Okay, so 69 is the median. So on our number line, 69 is going to be right next to the 70, really, really close to the 70, but just a little short. So plot your point above the number line, not on the number line. And then I always label my point. Okay, see how I did that? It's just a little short of 70 and above the number line, and I marked it with an M for median. Okay, now let's do the minimum and the maximum. Our minimum is 43, so we will go to 43 and put a dot. This is our minimum, and I always mark it with a min. And our maximum is 94. So we'll go over to 94 and put a dot above the 94 and label that maximum. Okay? So now this is what it looks like. You can pause it if you need to. Alright? Now we have to plot our quartiles, quartile 1 and quartile 3. So quartile 1 was 57. And if you look in your data, hopefully you have that marked as well. So we'll go to 55, and then a little bit farther is our 57. We'll put a line there. Okay. And quartile 3 is the next one. It's 85. So go right to 85 and put a line. And I always label them too. Labeling everything is really important. Okay, so here's what we have. Quartile 1, quartile 3. And now we're going to connect quartile 1 and quartile 3 to make our box, right? So I'll show you where the box is and where the whiskers are, and that's why it's called a box and whisker plot. Okay. Ta-da! Here's our box and whisker plot. It shows our median, our quartiles, and the minimum and maximum. That is the main goal of showing a box and whisker plot. So, one of the big ideas of box and whisker plots is when we have a small set of data, we can put it into a box and whisker plot to make a visual of the data. Okay? It helps us use the middle of the data to find out, maybe what's the average or what's close to the average. Did most people score higher than the middle, or did most people score lower than the middle? And it helps us group our scores into different parts. So the quartile 3 means that you're in the range of above average. Quartile 1 means you're in the range of below average. So it's very important with data and statistics to know those things. So that's how we use a box and whisker plot. Okay, if you guys have any questions, please comment in this video. I think there's a comment section on Google Classroom. You can comment right below. And I'll be watching these videos and looking at the comments and answering your questions when I can. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.